Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Well, hello and welcome. It is the KVJ After the Show podcast. Since we ended the regular show till now, we've seen that Ambien has now responded to Roseanne Barr about her tweet, the racist tweet, and it says, while all pharmaceutical treatments have side effects, racism is not a known side effect of our product.
That's a nice move by them.
People of all races, religions, and nationalities work for us every day to improve the lives of people around the world. So there you go.
They're digging up old Roseanne Barr tweets, too.
Yeah, and I've seen, like I said, we were talking about this earlier on the show today. People are pulling up stuff. And the only thing about like some of the stuff you see, because if you didn't see him first round out, you kind of wonder, be like, okay, what's right and what's not? There was one meme that was going around. It was Roseanne Barr, much younger, and she was dressed as Hitler and was taking gingerbread men out of the oven. And they're like going, you would have thought ABC might have seen this coming years ago.
Ooh. Well, I mean, you remember what happened with the national anthem. That was controversial.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. So, it's definitely a fat boy. I tell you, this is the kind of stuff that, this is the fuel that gets Twitter's fire going, huh?
Oh, Kevin.
Twitter loves it.
So many people took to Twitter.
Oh, I know.
That's the buzz expression. They took to Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole discussion today, all you're hearing is the back and forth, and now people trying to rank, okay, well, if Roseanne's tweet is racist, then there's this thing Pusha T put out a cover, and is that Drake in blackface?
That's what he's saying. They say it's Drake.
Okay, in blackface, and then Virginia was watching a video a second ago. Who was that in the video they were asking?
They've been asking everybody. They were asking T.I.
That was T.I. I think I was listening to.
It was T.I.
Yeah.
And then they were asking him, the TMZ guy. Of course, they're doing whatever they can to just try to get, a response.
Sure. Well, you want to have celebrities comment on pop culture because the chances of you getting some kind of amazing soundbite are pretty high if they'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's fiery and people are fighting. A celebrity commenting on it is gold.
Yeah, so you're trying to bend and twist and, see what it's going to take to, get that thing to take fire. And so they're saying, some people are saying because she's a comedian that, it was a joke, and especially with the Ambien, she should have some leniency on this. And T.I. was saying, no, not with that. And then the TMZ guy comes right back and hits him with the Drake photo and says, well, what about that? Is this acceptable? Can this stuff go through? And, he said, well, I think that's great for hip hop. And, it's going to fire things up. And there's going to be losers on both sides.
But
paraphrasing what he had said, basically.
A bunch of hip hop guys and athletes are saying it's good for hip hop, but y'all, we need to stay out of it and let them fight. And people are like Chad Ochocinco. It said, you don't want to catch a stray bullet, so don't pick sides in all of this.
Geez.
But
stray bullet.
I know. It's crazy, but I guess they're saying it's good for rap because it gets all these battles going back and forth, and people are going to listen to that.
Yeah.
The shocking stuff, what Pusha T put in his diss.
What did Pusha T do again?
Well, he's saying in his rap that Drake has a secret love child that he had with some stripper that he's been keeping a secret for years. And, I mean, Pusha T has given names and details and pictures of this chick when she was pregnant. And I don't know if it's real or not, but it just seems like real juicy.
If that's not real, could Drake then sue for slander or libel or any of that stuff? If you're blatantly putting stuff out that people are assuming are facts, and then it's proven that it's so completely wrong. Isn't that even just because it's on social media, it still could do damage? What's the law on that?
The burden of proof is on the person that is laying out the claims. So if you have proof of the validity of your claims, then the truth is always a defense against libel and slander. So you can say anything you want at that point if it is true, and you must back it up. So it would be on Pusha T. So that would be the response of that. And, I'm curious about the photo of Drake and the blackface, because I think that's where TMZ was going, and that's going to be the thing that people are going to chew on today, is something that is overtly racist. Then that's what people are going to be arguing, fighting about. Nobody's going to be able to talk calmly, unfortunately, to sort things out, because that therein lies a lot of the gray areas of the situations of debate when it comes to race in America, is saying, okay, well, you're taking a photo in blackface. That's horribly offensive. But if you're black, part black, whatever, any kind of black, does that give you a free pass to then take a photo in blackface?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great question. Will he get forgiveness?
Well, that's the kind of stuff that, I think that people need to somehow talk calmly and discuss and start working out, because these are the questions. People aren't taking it like questions, and it should be a question, saying, look, people are just yelling. And instead, they'd ask a question, because it is a good question. Well, help me figure out the boundaries of race and humor in America today.
I don't think white people can answer the question.
No, but I think white people have white people have the question, because they're saying, okay, Roseanne, who is white, is being lambasted for her comments. That's true and fair, but there's a lot of other questions, and it happens on both sides. I just know some of the texts that I was getting today. There was somebody that was very upset and saying, my gosh, there is so many shots that are taken at white people from black comedians, radio talent, and they went on and on. And I just ended, I said, well, send me some examples, of what specifically you're talking about, saying, why is it okay that these awful things can be said about white people when it comes from black people, and the other way around, it's not okay and it gets called out and shows are canceled. So I said, I think first off, we just got to be cool and keep the premise that nobody wants racism, one. And there are questions that need to be discussed. We just need to find people that are calm enough to freaking discuss them. That's the problem.
See, what sucks is there's people that want separation, and there's people that want to be all together.
Yeah, I think some people do want racism, Kevin.
Well, I'm
and that's why I'm saying that we just, as a unified body, that's why no matter what color you are, you need to stand together. And there's somebody from our sister station that, is planning a walk, and he's already done something against racism. And I'm right there with him. I said, whatever you need to promote, I'll be a part of it. And he's going to do a big campaign. That won't give away any of his details that he's working on, but it's amazing. And I think that's what it needs, that this country needs. It needs people of all colors coming together saying, look, this country shouldn't tolerate racism of any form. And we, no matter what your race is, are standing up saying, look, if you're a person who believes in perpetuating racism, that we need to squash your beliefs. It should not be tolerated in this country.
You said the comment before that you obviously hate racism.
Yes.
But you don't think it should be bad if someone's trying to be racial in their comedy.
No.
And you still stand by that.
Yeah. I do. I would like to see a place where we can, have jokes. Chris Rock, he's made jokes about white people, and he's also had jokes about black people. And I find a lot of his jokes, it doesn't offend me. I find it to be very funny, and there's some truth in that. I would like to see us in a country where you can have good-natured comedy pointing out the differences and similarities and all this kind of stuff without people being so offended. And that was in an age, maybe in my youth, that we could do that kind of stuff. Not today, and it's unfortunate. I'd like to see us get back to that, because when you know that somebody's not coming at it from a negative place and that there's hate,
yes,
that's underlying, that it's just good-natured. I love more than anything ripping on you kind of comedy.
I do too.
It's one of my favorite things. And to be able to rip on some stuff, whatever your cultural stuff might be, whatever your racial stuff might be, I think it is funny. If there's no hate that comes behind it. I think it's great and it's fun and it's funny.
You can jab with people and it not come from a hateful place. And I totally understand what you're talking about.
You can't do that now because there's too much hate involved. It's all the language and the discussion, the discourse that we have. If we could all just sit down calmly and say, hey, look, I don't hate you. You don't hate me. And it's like, so let's just figure out what some boundaries are so that I don't step on your feelings and you don't step on mine. And they should be the same on both sides.
Well, people always want to be right. If you're in an argument, it doesn't matter what the argument is. You've got two egos going back and forth. I'm right. This is my stance. This is my stance.
Yeah.
And you have to want the ability to even think about changing your perspective on whatever you're talking about. You have to have that in you. If you're a person that is so, you're just so damn stuck into your point of view on something, how do you change somebody like that?
It's tough. Yeah, it really is. I think that's why, there are a lot of people that look at what's happening in this country with sadness, because you see that it is going to be so tough to break down the wall. And every story that comes out, like the Roseanne Barr tweet story, it just adds another layer to that wall and makes it thicker and stronger. And to ever tear it down so that we could really have some good conversation, it seems like a lifetime away.
Do you think the media does a good job or a bad job when it comes to all this stuff? Because I personally feel that some of the media, they love they love to continuously drive separation, not only between races but between genders. I mean, that's what their goal is, to almost make sure we keep that fight going on. And I think that's fucking sick. I really do.
Yeah, well, it gets them more traction on their stories.
It sells. It gets people tune-ins.
But does that make it right, though?
It doesn't, but
No.
it's just what we're drawn to, the drama of it.
That's why, we're going to have to change the subtext of how things were structured and set up, kind of like what you see Facebook doing right now, trying to do an about face and try to get away from being known as a platform of hate and saying, look, we're trying, and that's their mantra right now, is they're trying to get back to what we set ourselves up for, and that was connecting people. And instead, we've realized we devised a platform that only divides people and doesn't bring them together.
You can give people too much power. That was my point a few podcasts ago. We lived in a time before where not everyone had the ability to have their voice heard by millions of people. Now, everybody in the world, that's not necessarily a good thing.
Well, for whatever reason, we all feel the need to react to every voice that we hear, and we have to get over that and realize there's a lot of voices that you hear that you shouldn't respond to and shouldn't even listen to.
Because they're going to say shitty things.
Yes, and completely ignore. And just say, don't even mind that idiot box over there. Ignore that comment. Drive over this. There's something in our human nature that makes it very difficult for us to do that, because when somebody challenges you or says something that is against what your belief structure is, your thing is like, it revs you up and you want to go and try to change it and correct it. There's something about that. But there's no correcting a lot of those things. And there are a lot of times people that are just trying to get a rise out of you.
You're right. Like someone tweeted, Billy Joel sucks. Like, motherfucker, no, he does not suck. And I'm responding. I'm like, don't you talk about Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Because you're right. When you feel attacked, you want to, a lot of people want to go back and go in on them.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's sad for me to see, because I see us continuing to head in the wrong direction. But, anybody in our community or anywhere else that is into the hopefully fruitful discussion of talking about race in this country, coming from the place of saying, I love all races. I've got no hate in my heart. I don't want that. I think if people start recognizing racism for what it is as an evil, and those people are the people I want to have discussions with and say, okay, what can we do to bring together people of all races? And we do need to set boundaries. And those are the kind of questions that are going to be brought up with every single story. Because immediately, as soon as Roseanne came up and she lost her job on ABC, it was like, well, let's look at everybody else here that has done this kind of stuff.
We've already got an email from our boss, a company email about everyone watch their social media and don't post all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Which, honestly, you really shouldn't have to be told that.
No, I kind of thought, I was like, what?
Yeah, so... I got a couple of comments even from today in the discussion. Somebody said, I got to agree with that other caller who defended Nancy. I don't think Virginia meant to say anything racist, but nowadays it's all about perception. And once one person puts it out there, social media runs with it. I feel society is too quick to label and to hang people Virginia's reaction to the comment was a little upsetting. I don't think Nancy deserved that, and Virginia just got way too defensive. I think
What do you
Nancy.
mean?
But Nancy put it out there, and I'm not going to tolerate anybody putting that out there and attaching my name to it. I will always get very defensive if somebody wants to attach me to something that was never my intent. And now you're trying to make it twisted around like other people are thinking that. You're putting that out in the universe, and I will never, ever allow that.
So that call definitely got off the tracks, without a doubt. I honestly don't think she was coming in at you to call you a racist or
But
call
just
you
the
saying
fact that-
anything.
just the fact that she attached that to me and then put that out in the universe when probably most of us were not thinking of it along those terms, but people that like to see trouble throw things out there like that, and then they want to watch when everybody gets all upset and starts fighting. I'm not going to sit here and let her attach that to my sentence. That was not my intent, and I'm never going to be able to just sit here and take it.
Said, I think Nancy was just trying to warn her. But again, unfortunately, what you say and mean is irrelevant to what society says you meant by what you said. I have a friend who's in the military, and because they were injured, they cannot walk they cannot run during the physical exercise. They have to walk, and a high-ranking person saw this and said to him, "You people need to be out of the military." He was talking about people on profiles. However, the person he said that to happened to be black, and now it's a huge equal opportunity complaint because of the comment. It's an example of how what we say is interpreted as the truth by other people in our society.
So something like that, I can totally hear me doing. You people and talking to a group of people, not meaning, there's nothing racial attached to that. That's just that you people. I'd say that to my family. I'd say that to the baseball team if I was coaching. I could see how something like that could accidentally come out of somebody. It has nothing to do with race.
Yeah, I had that. I call a lot of people brother when I see people.
I
and
always
especially
call
on the
people brother.
And I had that. I was walking with a guy who was white, saw somebody I knew that was black. I'm going, "Hey, what's up, man, brother? How you doing?" And somebody's like going, "Dude, you just called him brother. Like, what is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like going, "You can't call a black guy brother."
Well, see,
And I'm like,
that's the stuff I disagree with.
And that's where I was like going, I call everybody brother.
Because
he's like going,
do.
"Dude, you look like a racist." I'm like, well, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't want to get to the point where I'm not interacting with humans naturally. I'm not going to not call somebody brother because I know what's in my heart. I call everybody brother. Sometimes I call chicks brother.
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm just letting you know, man. You sound like a big racist." And I'm like,
Well, you're not, though.
yeah,
You have to look at intent. And that's the thing. I mean, some people do have the intention of being racist. They
Agreed.
absolutely do. But there's a difference between somebody having the intention of being racist and someone just out there trying to be cool and be friends with everybody and having their words twisted.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's what you have to call out when people twist your words into racism, and it wasn't.
just like you said, I call everybody brother.
yeah. So and those are the kind of things where I think
You do.
know,
And
we
you got
should-
it from Hulk Hogan.
I actually got it from my brother. My brother would always call me brother. Okay, he would always call me brother.
Yeah. Speaking of brother, I don't know if you heard the Hulk Hogan story today about his tweet.
Oh, Hulkster.
He tweeted out, and I mean this is sweet and intent. He tweeted out that he wished that Bam Margera was still with us, but Bam's not dead.
He killed Bam?
He meant Ryan Dunn.
Oh.
Come on, Hulkster. Shit.
Man, I wish Bam were still with us.
Oops, delete.
He is. He's just not creating.
There were also a lot of comments about this bizarre Ambien story. Somebody tweeted, I said, "Yeah, my mom's done some weird stuff on Ambien. She once helped our dog start writing her autobiography."
Yeah, me and my buddy were trying to, when I was on Ambien, I was trying to write a rock opera. And what? The next morning I looked at it, my buddy goes, "You were acting real weird last night." I'm like, yeah, it was probably, I should have went to bed.
Weird spurts of creativity apparently happened. Got this email from Jonathan. Said, "I've been a listener for years and wanted to say I find it amazing that even longtime listeners can dig deep and find some way to be offended by the stuff y'all say. I don't know that I've ever been offended by you guys. I think mostly that's mostly due to the fact that I know you guys are some of the kindest people and never mean to offend with your content. I know you guys are people with opinions, and it's okay if they don't always line up with everyone else. I respect you guys for being real people and not being afraid to share your own opinions. For someone to be so offended that they actually take time out of their day to send y'all messages saying how disappointed they are because Jaybird wrote a little girl line in his show is just crazy. They need to understand what's actually important. I'm writing you guys because I feel it's important to support you guys. Thank you for all you guys do, and know there's at least one person that always has your back.
Now that's a cool motherfucker right there. And if I see you out, let's drink some beers or eat pizza.
And,
Or both.
Or both.
P.S. Whoever is managing the YouTube content has been on point lately.
Wow.
Yeah. Also got this from Braden. Got a couple of comments. Jerby, Vicious V, and Clit Eastwood.
Clit Eastwood.
Just wanted to make a note of some of my favorite things from the shows, not in a particular order. How Jaybird's thought of the day fails about 90% of the time.
It's supposed to be a positive segment. It turns negative real quick.
How Jaybird thinks we all don't know he smokes with Denny's.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When the fog clears,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you'll see two bongs.
I mean, hasn't that been a rumor about me since 2004?
And also, if Denny's and the Bird could put up a guitar tutorial on how to play Kevin's new Hair song.
Not a problem.
So there you go.
Nice idea.
More controversy. MT said, I'm writing in defense of poor Denny's. Y'all gave him such a hard time yesterday when he was actually right about sandwiches. If you look on both Merriam-Webster and dictionary.com, the definition, although varying slightly, is as follows. 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling in between. 2 or more slices of bread or the like with a layer of meat, fish, cheese, etc. between each pair. By both definitions, hamburgers and hot dogs are sandwiches. Even a burrito is a sandwich because a tortilla wrap is just unleavened bread. Just want to defend the honor of my boy Jaybird's lady.
I'm not going to lie. He likes this fight. He likes that there's a little division. He likes that he's stirring the pot up because he was double down in yesterday with his fiance. Me and Jen couldn't believe some of the crazy shit he was talking about. He even went as far as saying hot dogs are hoagies. He's like, hot dog's a sub, man. You just gotta get through your head. The world's tricked you with all these definitions. A hot dog is just a fucking sub. It's a long ass bun with meat in it.
A hot dog is a hot dog. It deserves its own special category. It's that awesome.
But what makes
it will never be a sandwich.
The two things that I would say separate it is the type of bun and the size, right?
I don't
Or
know.
could you have a hot
and
dog
the
size
clout.
hoagie?
Let's not forget the clout of the hot dog.
I do agree with Virginia on that. I think some of the like your cheeseburger, your hamburger, and your hot dog, they've earned it. They have paved the way for other sandwiches.
Could you have a hot dog size hoagie?
I'm not a big hot dog guy.
No, it has nothing to do with hot dogs.
Oh,
a hot dog sized hoagie.
Could I have that?
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, would that qualify as a hoagie still, or is that almost like a hot dog because of the size of the bun? What
No,
makes
'cause
it?
you can get
the
a half.
difference?
You can get a 6-inch hoagie. I mean, I see where you're going. I feel like Denny's is starting to kind of penetrate you with your thoughts.
Just make sure you YouTube it because we need to get our numbers up.
I feel like he's getting to you. I feel like he's making a turn.
Well, I think it's worthy of discussion. In all fairness,
I mean, you're talking. You had me and your fiance in fucking in a riot yesterday because you were saying that hoagies and hot dogs are the same thing.
Yeah, mini subs as I've been calling them lately. The hot dog.
Look at that. He loves a division.
Yeah, no, I think they're all the same, man. Sandwiches are sandwiches. They're all portable.
yeah, they were
know?
saying that basically anything that is split with meat or cheese in the center, whether it be 2 slices of bread or even a bun, they were saying qualifies as a sandwich, according to Merriam-Webster and Dictionary.com. That was the point they were trying to make, defending you.
Yeah, I mean, they're my boys.
But like me and Virginia always say, fuck them dictionaries.
He put the dick in dictionary.
Well, Well, I appreciate it, Kevin, that you're coming over to the side of reason.
Well, I'm just, I'm the one reading the emails, so, and I'm asking questions.
I guess-
just saying because we got to, sort some things out here.
Go, Benedict Arnold, go.
I can see the change, though. I can see Kevin turning. You're fucking you're reaching him.
Well, there's just a lot of things that qualify as a sandwich.
It's odd, 'cause I did start to see, because it was a bloodbath in the beginning. Everyone's like, Denny's, that's so fucking stupid. I have seen a few emails and a few comments trickle in. Denny's is on point.
Damn.
I know.
I know they hold high regards, your hamburgers and your hot dogs, but I mean a submarine sandwich. They used to call it a submarine. It's slowly dropped everything down to just the word sub now that we use. So I mean, technically it was originally identified as a sandwich.
I mean, the world's changing.
Everybody's changing, and I still feel the same.
Great song.
Keep going.
Oh,
Keep singing.
such a good
Keep
song.
singing. Oh man, I love that sweet voice. Keep singing.
I'm going to come over at night and sing you to sleep, you asshole.
I actually think you have a good voice.
I'll be under your bed. I'll scare the shit out of you, then I'll sing you to sleep.
That's more horrifying than the rat problem.
Liz sent an email about Freaky Facebook. Said you guys mentioned the Facebook app listening. Well, yesterday turned into a whole new level. I was on my school computer researching protein powders. It took me to a GNC website, which I searched for a few minutes. I did not input any personal information, no emails or phone numbers. I did not purchase anything. A few hours later, while I was home relaxing after dinner and scrolling through Facebook, I got an ad for GNC with items shown as protein powders. I've never had such an ad on Facebook before. My phone was on in my bag on the floor while I was searching online, but nothing was said. This has gotten me a little freaked out. Now, the explanation I read the other day for these kind of things happening, it says something that happens, I can't remember the technical term for it, but it's when you think coincidences have a deeper meaning than they do. Life presents itself with a lot of coincidences, and a lot of people, what people are trying to ascribe as Facebook listening in is actually just this phenomenon of coincidence that's happening.
No, that's pretty specific. Protein powder?
Well, but think about it. She could be on her other computer on Facebook liking photos of people that are at the gym, are at this, are at that. And that's all qualifying information that would be on her personal account that would put together a profile that would be something they would advertise to you for.
Objection. How do you explain this then? Me and Denny's just talking about Stouffer's Pizza. I'm not even nowhere near my computer. Boom. Stouffer's Pizza ads come up.
Mm-hmm. I think, again, it probably has to do with the profile that you set up. I have a feeling because you're wearing like pizza hoodie, all these kind of things that you do, that they're like going, hey, this guy is a pizza lover. So any coupon or advertisement for any kind of pizza whatsoever, they're going to pop it up there. Stouffer's is going to pay them money to get on that service. It's not just like hey, we're going to throw a Stouffer's coupon at you when they've got no monetary reason to do so. So Stouffer's was an advertiser. They're in the pizza category. You're doing stuff that has to do with pizza on Facebook, and thus it gets put to you. You think because you mentioned it, it was listening, and it gave you the ad because of that.
Got an answer for everything.
Spin me around in that politician hair zone.
Oh, man, you got the politician spin down.
Yeah, you do.
Well played, Ralston.
Jerry Moyo just got nervous.
Moyo, you need to be nervous because my boy is going to get locked and loaded. He's coming for that mayor position.
Oh, I am, yeah.
Mayor hair.
Mayor hair.
Mayor hair.
I love it. Gosh, his fucking hair is beautiful.
Well, we see where your vote lies.
I really want you to run for mayor, but I don't want you to win, but I want you to run, if that makes sense.
Okay, I got it.
The running part seems
the thrill is in the running. It's
so fun.
Then it gets real if you actually win.
Well, then you're like, oh, shit, Kev, you're the mayor now?
Now you gotta go be the mayor, then you couldn't do the show.
I'd be faced with that same moment Trump was. Oh, shit, I won?
The running part would be, we would fucking paint this town, my friend.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, there would be some new laws in effect.
Oh, man.
It'd be any brewery that wants to open gets fast tracked.
Oh, my gosh.
You don't make anybody wait for a permit.
That's what I was talking about.
24-hour turnaround.
A brewer I know that's trying to open is still held up. I mean, they were talking about, I think it was November was the first open date. Then it was February, and now I haven't heard anything.
That is so sad.
We got Go ahead.
I was talking to another brewery that's in Lake Worth. I'll spare his name, not him thrown in the mix, but he was like, I was going to open up in West Palm. And then I started looking how tough it was to get the permits. I said, fuck it, I'm going to open up in Lake Worth. And he's like, I was open in no time at all. And he said if I was in West Palm, I'd still be fighting permits and shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got to encourage business, not discourage.
I don't get it. They've been that way since I've been in town. I've done nothing when I talk to business owners up and down Clematis of just how difficult it is to get anything done.
Well, probably because it's good real estate there and they know it. They know it's a good spot, so they could be dicky about it. I'd imagine.
Go look at all the holes you've got on that street.
Yeah, I don't do really well with real estate or building, so I probably shouldn't comment.
Yeah. Yeah, that street needs a little bit of a turnaround.
Denny's would be our grunt guy. He'd be our cleanup guy. If a scandal was a brewing, my man makes sure it's hushed up.
Oh yeah, he's definitely in the cabinet. I don't know, what do you call it? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll take cabinet.
Okay, yeah.
He's
He's gonna be in
the
there.
liquor cabinet. That's where Virginia's at. He'll clean up the bullshit Virginia does. That's gonna bring us all down.
I'm in the junk drawer.
That sounds like so. I've watched too many movies. That sounds like so much fun. Running, doing all that
Oh,
stuff.
making signs.
Oh, yeah.
Go putting signs out in people's yards.
Kevin's speeches.
Oh yeah.
Fuck,
Gonna need a
man.
speechwriter.
Oh gosh, please.
We got this.
Oh, we got that. Let me in Virginia write your.
As I'm reading, I'd be like, going, what?
We will write your speech. You will make 0 cents.
Oh, if you let me write your
What does
speech,
it say?
I would be so happy. I'd be tickled pink.
I got this email says, hey, I was listening to last Thursday's show in the segment about autocorrect screwing people over, and I wanted to share my autocorrect moment. It was raining really badly, and I was leaving my grandma's house, and she had just gotten her first smartphone and wanted me to text her when I got home safely. So I sent her a message. It was supposed to say, made it home safe, though I hydroplaned through a puddle. But instead it sent, made it home safe, though I hydroplaned through a pussy.
That poor pussy.
I mean, how big was this pussy
Oh my goodness.
that you could hydroplane?
Onto that lip. Oh, Lord.
I mean, hydroplane means you have no control
No.
and you're above all surface.
Oh, my God.
This
Yeah.
is a very large vagina.
I'm starting to think they are messing with us. This is autocorrect people. They program it to where it fucks you
Right?
over.
It feels like they love to program dirty words. I mean, how often is this person typing the word pussy? Probably not a lot.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't type that and it puts it in my...
You don't ever type pussy. Bullshit.
Only when I'm referencing you.
Exactly. That's my point. There's several of those text messages.
Let's see. This says, hey, Kev, why in the world don't you and others just turn autocorrect off? It's the first thing my wife and myself do when we get new phones. So simple.
Well, because then you have to fucking learn how to spell.
Yeah, right.
Who wants to do that?
You know what word I for the life of me, and I should know it, restaurant is such a tough word for me to spell. There's some weird bullshit going on after that E, man.
Receipt always gets me.
That's a tough one, too.
I don't know if I could do it.
This is from Nick in Alabama. Said, hey, as always, got to start off by saying love y'all so much. I do feel need to bring something to your attention after listening to the bits y'all put up on Monday.
Uh-oh.
I do believe the team of Bird and Denny's did not win Read My Lips last week.
Uh-oh.
I believe that said duo had a clue of bringing back the soul patch. And the Bird saying bring, not bringing. I just want the titles to be with the rightful owners. Thanks for the last daily.
There was also a very controversial head nod that happened.
No, Denny's just has a tick. Denny's does it with his neck sometimes. I have a
Put
tick.
together your tick and the dick.
I have weird ticks too, man.
No, Denny's was giving you clues with his head nod, and that's cheating.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you other than the fact that I own all of the medals this week. Sorry,
You
bruh.
do. You have all the hardware.
Yeah, no name. I forgot the other fucking. I can never name. I always get.
And they are?
I can't read my lips and shit. I'm blanking. Read my lips and
Oddly enough, it's Think Fast.
think fast. my gosh. Oh my God.
And that's our champ.
I get those confused. It's like Bill Paxton, Bill Pullman.
Don't you feel dumb if you can't beat that?
Yeah. Ironically, that's your champ.
You're the fucker who can't beat this.
I know. I'm talking to myself.
Look within, bruh.
Got this email said a few weeks ago you guys were using Randy's trophy in place of the No Name Movie Game belt that someone lost.
Multiple times.
So I decided to make a legit No Name Movie Game belt. It's a little rough in a few respects, but I'm happy with it overall. I learned a few things about how I do it differently next time when someone loses it.
Oh.
Engineer Keith.
So I was going to give him a huge shout out during the No Name Movie Game because he made the best wrestling No Name Movie Game
go grab
belt.
that. I want to show it on camera.
He
Yeah.
made it. Like
Yeah.
he sat down and he made it. I don't even know how you would begin to do such a project.
No, it's impressive. It's personalized. It looks great. And we gave it to Jay Bird, and within 2 minutes yesterday, he popped off one of the bolts on the back.
He didn't even have it in his hand for 30 seconds.
Pretty
And we
amazing.
thought he had broken it.
Oh, I did.
It was kind of incredible.
So
in a good way.
I got destructive hands. I don't know what to tell you.
That's your cabinet.
That is fine. Oh, I'm going to come at you hard. Well, I meant my intensity, my personality.
There's my first scandal.
He's sleeping with his male cabinet members.
I'm talking about my personality is going to come at you hard. Look at this thing.
I mean, that is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Engineer Keith, I'm tickled pink.
It says NMMG, and then across the top it says, I don't have to tell you how much this thing means to me.
Look at that shit.
I mean, it's a no-name movie game.
I don't think
says right
anybody's
there.
ever given us a
That's
nicer
amazing.
gift.
So
that
amazing.
that's hard work.
The best part of what he did was on the back of the belt, he put handcrafted by Engineer Keith, and then he goes, if found, when found, email mail at KVJ show.
If found, when found.
Because he knows I'm going to lose the fucking thing. Brilliant stuff, Engineer Keith.
And it fits you, too.
does.
Unlike the belts that you've lost, you can actually wear this one.
Well, we do have the woman that took the other belt, she finally brought it back. So she took it from Blue Martini, brought it back like 3 weeks later. I cannot fit in that belt.
She took it. You didn't leave it there.
Well, yeah.
Well,
What about the one that you
yeah.
left at Mulligan's? Did someone take it that night, too?
I don't know. Let's bring up some shit you've done. What about that time you try to fight our listener? Okay, boom. I'm out. I win. I win. If you want to bring up greatest hits.
I've apologized for that.
Got this email says, so the video that you played of the military pilot seeing a UFO, don't know if you'd seen this, but it's been debunked by a YouTuber named Captain Disillusion.
Oh.
He always grabs videos online that look shockingly real and breaks it down and shows you how it's fake.
The military one's fake?
Yep.
There you
That's
go,
what-
Jay Bird.
That's what Captain Disillusion says. If you guys get the chance, check him out. It's very interesting, some of the things he finds and how he breaks it down.
Okay, is it opinion or is it actual fact that he knows for a fact this is a bunk ass tape?
I think he looks at the video and he can tell you how it's fake.
I don't trust that because he's got an agenda, just like other people have an agenda, and I've seen people try to debunk things that still, in the community of paranormal or alien, there's still not an explanation for it.
You just want to believe.
Fuck yeah, shouldn't we all? We
No.
all should believe.
We
Not in
should
something that's
believe
fake.
in real.
Well, it is real.
With the exception of these titties, you should believe in real.
Yes.
I do
Aside
believe.
from her tits and my hair.
I want to believe in real. You're right. Am I the only motherfucker who got real shit still?
Come on, get something fun
No,
done.
it's-
Let's get you some fake abs.
I need shit done, but I'm not going to be doing it.
Alex sent us this email. He said, so this is for Jay Bird. Jason, what do you want from the new Star Wars movies? Do you want them to be better than the originals? Because that will never happen. You seem to have hated the prequels and now all the sequels.
That's not true.
So then why do you continue to watch the new movies? What are you looking for? If you know you're going to hate it, then just don't see them. Also, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, so I don't know how many times I have to say I really enjoyed Rogue One. I really enjoyed Force Awakens. I don't know what else you want me to fucking say. The Last Jedi was god-awful. It was fucking terrible. And if you look at the score, half of your audience thought that. It thinks in 40-something%. So clearly they missed the mark on that one. The Solo movie, I will say I will give that another shot. because it deserves another shot. It was not even close to as bad as the Last Jedi. I said that, and I see what people are saying. I grew up watching Star Wars in a different time period, but I don't like when people say it's my age, because it's not my age. If it was my age, I wouldn't have liked Rogue One. I wouldn't have liked Force Awakens. I just thought the Last Jedi was a shitty script, and I thought the Chewbacca one could have been better. I realized after the fact for the Han Solo movie, if you were a person that watched the comic books, you really enjoyed the Solo movie, or the cartoons, I should say. You would enjoy the Solo movie. And I'm also going on way too long about Solo. Virginia's texting. Kevin's glossed
I'm
over.
Googling Drake's supposed baby mama because I got to check this bitch out.
I get it. I believe me. I thought long and hard about my review yesterday about Solo.
I had said my problem, we have this Netflix concept where you go through a story progressionally, and it's tough when you're not following that progression. I think the original trilogy had a good story, good characters, and you couldn't wait for the next one to come out. It gets confusing when you've got Rogue One out of place, you got Solo out of place. And somebody wrote up this review I thought was interesting. They say, what you're seeing in the Solo movie, it's the Netflixization of movies. What it basically is, Netflix has trained us to binge watch a series, and in training us to do that, it's also trained us and learned from us that a bad episode or an episode that doesn't really do anything will be tolerated to get to the rest of the storyline. That's what's happening to Star Wars, and to some degree Marvel. Solo is an okay episode, but it really does nothing except give you familiar characters and a ho-hum story. And movie execs know that Star Wars fans will watch.
Yeah, I am a Star Wars fan, and I did not hate all of the prequels like that person said. I didn't like the first two. I thought Revenge of the Sith was decent.
So they're just propping stuff up as kind of like putty in between the bricks. But you got to pay attention because the putty matters. Just look at the numbers. This email from Jonathan said, first off, my wife and I love listening to the show. You guys do a great job every day, and I wanted to give a shout out to Jay Bird and suggest The Evil Genius. They're into it as well. Didn't like Cobra Kai, though. He said, Kevin, it warms our hearts that you want to give some Marvel movies a try after watching Infinity War. I think I've actually seen all of them, but maybe if you're talking about going back and watching them again, Jonathan, I'm up for that. If you want some extra enjoyment, I suggest revisiting Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier, like that, Captain America 3, Civil War, like that. I really liked the first Captain America. That might have been my favorite. Those movies were directed by the Russo brothers, and because of their success and exciting storytelling for a boring comic character, made the studio hire them for the huge project Infinity War. Also, what happens in those movies link what's going to happen in the Black Panther. And if not, then it's okay because they touch on it briefly in the Black Panther itself. Yeah, and I saw Black Panther, and I thought it was really good. And I think the commentary on Black Panther is it so good in getting the rave reviews because it truly is that outstanding, or because it has got a different social twist on it, and that you're seeing the black action heroes, and that's something that you haven't seen to this point. So the fervor of it, why does it do so well? And I thought it was worthy of it, personally. I thought it was, I would put it up there, and it's the top echelon.
I thought it was a really good movie.
Yes, exactly. So and
it wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was very good.
Yeah, some people just have sent me the comment saying, Kev, is it worth that extra level of hype? Look at it that way, and when you get out, just say, and it's still a question I have. I thought it was very good, and I think you'd be hard-pressed to find one of the Marvel movies that was better. So, and especially with how many Marvel movies are out and the hype that it gets, I think it's probably about right. Stacy sent an email about Westworld. Is anybody watching this thing? It's on HBO. Good binge watching. If you aren't familiar, it's on HBO. It's only midway through season 2 right now. It's kind of a Western show, it looks like, but it's not. It's got a bigger commentary on society and animatronics and robots and Disney World and all that kind of stuff. It's got Anthony Hopkins, Ed Harris, a bunch of other people are in it. I always tell people, watch the first 2 episodes and decide for yourself. I watched the first season. Wait until the second season's done. I'll probably get to it eventually. I really liked how the first season ended up, and I'm like, I don't even know where they pick it up. And then I read another review of Westworld saying that they're time shifting, they're jumping forward, backwards, all that kind of stuff. And I realized I've got a pea brain.
That's
and
confusing.
So, thus, like with the Star Wars movies, it confused the hell out of me when they jump around too much. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on?
You really explain, like, your comments on that were, I just don't want to think that hard. And if you're going to Star Wars and you only watch the movies, you're going to be a little, wait, what?
I didn't really have that. Yeah, in the original Star Wars trilogy and the like that I had is that wasn't an issue where it was jumping all over the place. It was sequential. We live our lives in one plane.
The other thing too is I just think they're putting out too many Star Wars movies. They just I mean we just had one 6 months ago.
Yeah, there was a cartoon that I saw, and it was Mickey Mouse with a milk pail, and there was a very skinny cow. Basically, that Mickey has milked that cow dry, and it had Star Wars around its neck.
And it's kind of weird too, because Rogue One, very dark in tone and kind of an adult theme, more of an adult theme, and then you watch something like the other stuff. It's goofy. It's almost like they're inconsistent.
Carlos is a certified trainer, and he said, Jaybird, you can absolutely increase the size of your butt if you do squats and lunges. So there you go.
I don't know, man. I got a pancake ass.
Everything can be improved.
Yeah, if you went, like I said, there are girls at the gym that have phenomenal asses. I mean, just like you can't even like it's hard to pry your eyes off of them because they're just, I mean, they're like works of art.
Your eyes, your hands are the hardest to pry.
Well, I hear you, but you're just like, oh my, I mean, that is a perfect ass, and I will see them, and they are doing nothing but lunges and ass work, and I mean, and they're in there for 40 minutes solid straight just on that.
Don't accidentally say that. Oh, that's a perfect ass.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you try to do this like, okay, I'm like gonna do this kind of like.
I'm not gonna look.
You try to tell yourself like, don't look. Oh, it's like you try to look and you're like going, and then you find a mirror and you're staring in the mirror. You're like, oh, damn my eyes. I have to go over here.
The worst is being busted checking somebody out. That is the worst.
And I'm an ass man, and so it's a problem for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this isn't fair. And then they wear this girl had these, I don't know if I think they were next level of yoga pants because they went perfectly into the crease of her ass. Like, I'm like, going, that has to be so uncomfortable. But, I mean, it showed them, like, they looked like they were sculpted on. Michelangelo couldn't have made a better-looking ass if he would have had just sat there and made it. It was so phenomenal. But I'm like, the pants, totally, like, she knew what she was doing.
You should definitely tell her.
I should be like, I should have gone on, stood beside her, saying, your ass is perfectly formed in these pants. Now, is this intentional to ride up your ass like that in that way? Just explain this to me.
You are beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, you'll see that. But I have seen
someone working on their ass like that. Wouldn't they like the compliment? You got a perfect ass.
No.
No. I'm
not in the gym. Not
and
while
not
she's
from
trying
me.
to work. Not from him.
No, not from him.
Well, maybe post hair.
No, I'm not saying they want that. Someone would want that a random, but that's what you're going for, a perfect ass.
You are. I think it's going to depend on the girl. Some girls would take it as a compliment. Some girls would think that you're going to be in a predator waiting for them in a van outside.
I am not at all saying anyone should go up to a girl and go, perfect. That's not what I'm saying.
Don't. Err on the side of don't.
People are already taking to Twitter, Virginia. It's over.
Janessa wrote in a story about how she was at the Gardens Mall one time. I work across the street from it, and every time I left the store, I noticed this one guy sitting in front of the very store I was in. I tried to ignore it, thinking maybe he was the boyfriend of someone just waiting, but I kept noticing he'd stare at me and kept double checking to make sure I was still there. I was done shopping. I was really scared, so I went to leave, and the guy continued to follow me, and I made a beeline to the nearest food store where I was frantically telling the cashier that a man was following me, and I was completely cold. I was shaken to death, and I had tears forming as I told the cashier. The cashier called security, and as I waited for security, I could see that the guy was pacing outside right by the exit on the phone waiting for me, and I called a security guard, and they came by, and when they did, the guy had left. The guard didn't believe me, as apparently no one saw him or fit his description, which made me cry hysterically because I was extremely scared, and she wasn't taking it seriously. I was almost kidnapped. There are a lot of creepy things that are out there, and, kind of in response to my daughter's situation, you just have to really be aware of your surroundings, and you don't necessarily know, but get someone to help you out. And they do have surveillance footage. My wife was on it, so we're talking to a cop friend, and she said, at the Palm Beach outlets where my daughter had a weird situation, she said they have amazing cameras there.
Yeah,
so
they absolutely
so
do.
they're looking into it.
I was hoping with that email you just read, I was hoping there was a twist ending where the guy's waiting and she thinks he's following her. It's like, man, but you forgot you dropped your wallet. He was actually trying to help her.
Yeah, no, that can happen too. So anyway, appreciate the emails. mail@kvjshow.com. Always get a hold of us. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.